runner who came across an unlikely running partner while competing in a 155-mile race through China's Gobi Desert.
That's right. A stray dog kept pace with Dion for nearly 80 miles. But little did they know that was just the beginning of their journey. Her name is now Gobi, and that's, of course, named after the race. And here to tell us more is the author of Finding Gobi, Dion Leonard. Okay, so Dion, let's start last year. As Cynthia mentioned, you were training and you were ready to run your goal race, which was 6 days, 155 miles. It's a stage race through China's Gobi Desert. Something unusual, though, happened on day 2. What was that?
A little brown dog was looking at me at the start line, looking up into my eyes as we were about to set off and start this race. And that's where our bond started. She would end up running that stage with me, and we would race 25 miles that day across a massive mountain pass.
And she kept up with you?
She more than kept up with me. At times she would wait ahead for me. And we started to fall in love with each other, yeah.
Now, Gobi didn't just start day 2 of the race with you. She actually ran 80 miles with you, side by side. What went through your mind when you saw this little flash of brown that just wouldn't leave you? She wouldn't leave your side.
I couldn't believe it, and I still can't believe it when I see some of the clips of her running beside me. She chose me and she wanted to be with me, and I think she wanted to do whatever she could to be next to me, and that gave me the inspiration and motivation to keep going as well.
Your partners.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well, there were 100 other runners that day at that start line, but Gobi chose you. And there's something to be said. People often say that dogs in particular kind of sense when they're needed the most. So do you think that that was true?
Yeah, and that decision of hers actually changed both of our lives forever. One, I promised her to give her a better life and to take her to the UK where I live, but also she actually helped me through some of the things that I'd been going through as well.
Oh boy, these pictures are just killing us, Dion. Okay, so not only have we heard that she kept up with you, because this was now day 2 of a day 6 race. She kept up with you. She rested with you at all the checkpoints. Eventually, she actually finished the race with you, crossed the finish line with you of this ultra marathon. So what goes through your mind when there's one thing to see her at the starting line day 2, and there's another thing that she ran the rest of the race with you? What goes through your mind at that point?
Well, I was thinking about how I'm going to bring her back to the UK, and I made her a promise to bring her home. And my other thought was, how am I going to tell my wife?
So as you mentioned, you made a promise to Gobi. So you go back to Scotland. She stays back in China, and you start making preparations, trying to get her over to Scotland with you. But then something terrible happens. Gobi goes missing. So you go back there and you start looking for her, and strangers, you don't know anybody there, but strangers start helping you on your mission to find her. They start donating money. The search now involves so many more people. How did you feel knowing that people you didn't know didn't care about your dog were helping you look for your dog?
It was incredible. The support, generosity and kindness from people all around the world, and specifically in China, to search for the dog was just unbelievable. And I think everyone's just seen so much sad and bad news at the moment that they're really looking for a heartwarming and joyful story, and they wanted this to be the case.
And this is the thing when you know you're just meant to be. 10 days, remarkably, after searching for Gobi, you get a tip and you find her. And we've got a picture of you being reunited. This is the moment you were reunited that we're showing people right now. Oh, I'm sorry, we're told that we don't have the picture, but picture it in your minds. So they haven't seen each other. 10 days of searching, tip comes in, somebody's found her. You're reunited, and what does she do immediately? Tell us the story.
Oh, I walk into this house and these people have found her in a park. They'd seen all the posters and they'd obviously seen all the press that I'd been doing. I walk into the room and she's standing over the other side of the lounge room, and she comes running across up into my arms. I hadn't said a word. She realised who it was straight away, and I was in tears. She was barking and yelping and whining, and everyone was just so excited, and we couldn't believe it. It was a miracle.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like we've maybe waited long enough. Would you like to meet a super dog? Bring on out Gobi!
Hello, Papa.
I love how she stopped to greet some people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I can't even.
Hi, Gobi.
Well, nice to meet you, Gobi. She's gorgeous.
She is amazing.
So now here's the thing. She's here with you. She's now traveling the world. You've written this book. So A, is she still running with you? Or B, is she deciding, this life in the UK is really comfy and I'm just going to sit right here on the couch? What's life like now?
You can see.
Oh, my gosh.
I have a new BFF.
Yeah. Her desert days are over. There's no more running for her, out in the desert. But we still run around Edinburgh and hit the trails together, and she loves it. She really comes alive when she's outside, but she's more than happy to be sitting on the couch, chilling.
Do you know more or less how old she is?
She was 3 yesterday, which was our 1-year anniversary of us meeting. Yesterday would have been day 2 of the race, and it's phenomenal to think all of this has happened in a year.
In your prologue in the book, you wrote that Gobi and the journey that you've been on together has changed you. In what ways have you changed?
Well, I had a really destructive, volatile, abusive upbringing, and it was very difficult, and I left home at an early age, and I didn't really have that father figure or person to be there for me. I spotted Gobi in need in the desert, and I wanted to be that person for her, and it's actually helped me get through a lot of the negative things through my youth.
I just want to show everybody this photo. Here you are, and you're celebrating Chinese New Year with Gobi, with your wife, Lucia, and Lara the cat. Now, I have to say that Lara doesn't look really impressed in that photo. So how are these siblings getting along?
It's a little bit like Tom and Jerry. They're chasing each other up and down the hallway 1 minute, but the next minute they're laying next to each other, and they're getting on really well. And again, I think Gobi realised it was her forever home when she walked in the door.
We don't want you to go. I'm just putting that at the
Well, at least the dog.
Well, you're not so bad either. You're not so bad. Dion and Gobi, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. The book, of course, is called Finding Gobi. It's available right now. And guess what, everyone in our studio? You don't have to find Gobi because you're all going home with a copy of your very own today. We'll see you back here right after this.